playing. Yep. So you'd rather be in than out.
Absolutely. So underway, the final pre-season hit out for these two teams. Umpires found something off the ball already.
Thanks, Kingy. Chris had it for Collingwood. Surging forward was Liberatore, an opportunity now for Bontempelli going short. That's going to be okay. Hand pass goes wide towards McRae, in towards goal, and it should be an opening one to Toby McLean. Gives it away, and Eastonwood says, I'll have that, thank you very much, whereas the Pies could manage only a behind at the other end of the ground when it was touched. Eastonwood has made no mistake.
Trelaw and Thomas, Libba, McRae and Bontempelli floating around there for the Western Bulldogs.
So Roughhead against Grundy, and Grundy elects to let Roughhead palm it down and make it a ruckman palming down to a 4-on-3. Didn't quite work for them initially. Bontempelli scoots it out wide. Brilliant handout. Kick inside 50. That's a great grab taken by Tringove. Hands it off immediately. Dalhouse. They've got two easy ones, the Dogs, with great ball movement.
And a player that's been involved in both of those links is Tringove, who we saw last week. Jono played a number of different roles. Thought he was probably most effective in the ruck, but twice now he's been hit up once and then got in behind the defence there. So there's a couple of new faces down in that Collingwood back line. Crisp amongst them, and Adams is the other, I think.
Moore runs across the defensive goal square. Hammers it out wide, but he's turned it over, and a good mark taken out there for the Western Bulldogs by Norton, which is nice to see him get an early touch.
Aaron Norton, there's a little ground. They look in towards Roughhead territory. He's got to beat a couple. Ooh. And he could be hurt.
He's grabbing the groin there, is he?
He is.
Hasn't had a great run at it in recent times.
He's had some injuries over the last 12 months or so, over his career pretty much. Roughhead, you can see they're landing awkwardly, just getting that leg caught under.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that. David King will no doubt bring us up to date. In the meantime, the Dogs go forward through Hunter.
I mean, he's kicking. I think he's a terrific field kick. And speaking of being disappointed, that's Roughhead. That's day done, I reckon.
Yeah, I think there has been a mini directive from the AFL to try and get an assessment for the fans on injuries as soon as we can during coverage in 2018, as this one's floated in. Howe takes a good grab, but it's a hold free. And it's going to go to Dunkley.
With knowing they've got the support around him.
17 possessions and 3 goals against Hawthorn in Ballarat in JLT 1. And he does slip it through. He made the goal umpire dance a little, but it's there. But the
Trelaw goes again with a one hand. Dalhouse comes in and he steals it. Gives it across to Johannesson. Now they got the runners. Trengove gets boot to ball, goes down towards half forward. That's going to be okay. And the mark is taken by Dunkley.
Looks up, he wants to play on into space. Lin Jong feeds back into that space, and they had that Collingwood zone broken easily.
Broken up too easily.
Coming off a win in JLT 1, if you're unaware, the Dogs 22 points over Hawthorn. They're reasonably impressive in that late, and they've been pretty impressive early here, even though they're a ruckman down.
I think we can imagine.
Well, I mean, but that's what you've got to be demanding. Otherwise, you're going to cop it again and again.
Dale gets a hurried kick. The Dogs inside 50 once again. Eastonwood. Kick is partly smothered. Working hard was Langdon. And stealing it, Johannesson snaps and snaps truly.
And was able to clean it up here. Lin Jong again, who's had an excellent first quarter. He was in there fighting the fight. McLean the same. And Johannesson, who spent time on the wing and time up forward. Now he's had the 9 disposals and kicked the goal. 4 handball receives already for Johannesson. So he's well and truly in good form and looks like he's going to start the season really well for the Dogs.
What's half forward? Well, someone called someone out and they all missed it. Chris backward, side bottom. Opportunity now for Langdon. Short, but a little too short. Dogs may get one final shot at it. The siren only 22 seconds away.
It's the Bont who's gone forward, and Sandy again.
Hurt.
Forward 50 pressure there. They have,
2 years.
and I love the fact that they're not predictable. Just you're not sure who you're going to cop inside forward 50.
Bontempelli then kicked 20 goals last season. He's in the wrong pocket, but that matters not for the Bont. That is a wonderful kick. He's got his first, and the Dogs just putting the full stop on a pretty exciting first quarter. 2 for Collingwood. Can't get it out. Eventually it does come to Brown. He gives it away, and they're out of the danger zone just for the moment. Plenty of flyers, and there's an excellent grab taken by Aaron Norton. Well,
Collingwood President Eddie Maguire in full flight. We should have let him do some more of the commentary, perhaps.
I was about to head off.
Yeah.
That was it for us.
It's going well.
They have dominated this quarter,
Yeah.
Collingwood. 9-2 inside 50s, and they've done it by running the footy. They're sharing the footy around. Their uncontested ball, the handball receives. And
Number 8 couldn't slot it through, but he was pretty impressive in JLT1 as well.
So here we
Jack
go,
Tringo,
Dixon.
12 possessions.
Oh,
yeah.
Grundy.
Wow.
Big hit front on there.
We'll have a couple of angles of that to show
So
you.
Dixon holding
Pretty
onto it, just trying to draw him in late release, and Grundy made him earn it.
Dale, but he's beaten by Hoskin Elliott. Good grab. Poor kick.
Again.
Norton.
like him, Sandy, he's a huge chance to play round one, you'd think, given how polished he was and composed in the first JLT and today again.
Yeah, to play two.
Troy knocked it away from Adams, went in hard. McLean on hands and knees flicked it out. Trengove looking for a handball option. Johannesen. Can he find a target? Kept it low.
Yeah.
Delightful pass. And the mark taken for the Dogs by Gowers. We'll see what he's like in front of goal again.
Inside 50 for the quarter in favour of the Magpies.
22 years of age. Great story of perseverance, as Gary Lyon told you earlier on. Sydney rookie list for a little while, and that was a dart straight over the goal umpire's hat. Dogs back in front.
The Blues, he's with the Blues on their rookie list,
Sorry.
Billy Gowers. So he said he's still seething over the fact he missed out on last year's.
Sets him up nicely for the main
Here we
season.
go again.
Can't go at it more. This time Shaki outmarked him, which was nice to see for his confidence. Good at that.
Big second. It's going to be a fascinating second half, I know, because it's back on level terms now, and both sides have got a little bit out of this, so it's interesting to see. And this boy's been ultra impressive.
Norton sends it to the pocket.
Bounces off the chest of Crozier. Got a chance to go again and does. Tumbling a punt to Johannesen, who sprints through the middle. Penetrating kick up towards the half-forward line. Bontempelli takes the mark. Thought about playing on.
Percentages as you get it in the hands of your best kicks.
Bontempelli, 1 goal in the first term. This to regain the lead for the Dogs. 25 out. No problems at all for the reigning club champion. He gets his second.
Just to see what was going to happen, especially around the ball. I think they're a top 8 side this year, probably 7th or 8th though, and I can't see them having a huge significant impact in the top 4 again. And Collingwood, I think, will sit probably between 12 and 14.
Honeychurch gives it away to Dunkley. Short to Linjong. Off to Liberatore. Pumps it in towards goal and pops it through.
That's one of the reasons there. I think the Bulldogs will jump back up again.
Well, you said
this
7th or
man
8th.
on screen, Liberatore, and
They won the flag from 7th, so 7th or 8th isn't so bad.
Couldn't be no doubt about that. He's had a good day. Grundy, but straight to his opposing number 4 in Bontempelli, who gives it to Hunter onto the left foot. Pokes it high, going across the ground. Linjong in the pack.
He's been given the free kick here, Sandy. Linjong.
So this will be a positive start.
Okay, he struggled to find a bit of it in that second quarter. He started really well. He's a good player. I like him.
Pretty good kick too. No mistake there. Linjong gets his second. He got one in the first term as well.
Forward position.
So out of the middle, it's Bontempelli with just over 5 minutes remaining, and the Dogs copping a caning and a very high tackle there on McLean.
Free kick, John.
Was it high, or did McLean help that push up?
Well, he's got the free. Gives it to Bontempelli. It's a high ball. It's a good ball too. He's kicked a goal. That's his third.
That's a good goal from Bontempelli, but that was part of
Cordy's short little kick taken by Jong. Has to sacrifice a little bit of ground here. They're still well outside 50. Now well in, and
well, he's going to get a free kick. I was just about to say, one change that we may see before round 1 is Easton Wood back to his usual position in the defensive end for the Dogs. I'm not sure it's worked. He's kicked the goal. He got one last week. He got one in the first 10 seconds of the game. Today, only 4 disposals on the day. He had about 4 last week. I think it's something that they can flip around pretty quickly, the Western Bulldogs. I think they need to.
I'm glad they did it, though. I'm not saying they will abandon it, but you've got to ask the question and find out, and he'll be better for the experience if he does go back.
Well, he kicked a goal in the opening minutes of the game, and he's kicked probably the last one in the game as well. So the final throws, Cox gets a left-handed fist to it. Treloar gives it off to side bottom. They go ripping out of the middle to Varco, and he'll have a shot after the siren to complete a successful comeback after quarter time. He has finished with 2 goals, both in the final quarter, and the Pies in the end convincing 33-point winners.
Side by side, this victory.